Let's turn now to Delhi, India's capital, power center and a union territory, a city where the Prime Minister, the President and the Chief Minister of Delhi live. It has a governance system that is as fascinating as it is puzzling. It's a curious case that sparks intense debates about who really has the power in India's power capital. After all, there is an elected government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi, and then this is also the seat of the Government of India, which is why there are regular run-ins between the centre-appointed Lieutenant Governor and the democratically elected Chief Minister. This has always been the case. But things have gotten from bad to worse after the Aam Aadmi Party took over the reins of the national capital. In 8 years, Delhi has seen 3 governors. All of them were at loggerheads with the Chief Minister, that is Arvind Kejriwal, over many things, but particularly over the control of bureaucrats. Who appoints them, who transfers them, essentially who controls the babus in Delhi. Till today, the right to appoint and transfer babus who run the government was with the Lieutenant Governor. Essentially, this was the situation. Essentially, an elected government was at the mercy of the centre for officers who run the state. But the Aam Aadmi Party took the matter to court, saying bureaucrats were refusing to take orders from ministers. They would not pick up phones of ministers. They would refuse to attend meetings. The matter went to court, and after many twists and turns, it was finally settled. A constitutional bench of the Supreme Court has ruled that the government must be allowed to have control over the services. Otherwise, there would be no point having an elected government in Delhi. Listen in to what the Chief Justice said today.
The Lieutenant Governor is bound by the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers of NCTD in relation to matters within the legislative scope of NCTD, as we have held that NCTD has legislative power over services, excluding public order, police and land.
Okay, simply put, this is a big win for Arvind Kejriwal and his government, who over the past 8 years have knocked the doors of various courts to get officers of their choice. The relationship between the LG and the Delhi Chief Minister has never been pleasant. But it went down south after the current LG, VK Saxena, took over and opened a series of cases against Kejriwal and his ministers for corruption. Mr. Kejriwal today said he was thankful to the court for the verdict and that ultimately it was citizens of Delhi who would benefit from the Supreme Court order.
एक तरह से मेरे दोनों हाथ बांध दिए गए पीछे और मुझे नदी में फेंक दिया गया कि अब तैरो। ये तो ऊपर वाले का शुक्र है कि दोनों हाथ बंधे हुए होने के बावजूद भी हम किसी तरह से तैरते रहे और ऊपर वाला हमारा साथ देता रहा। मेरी अब उनसे यही निवेदन है, यार अब हमें काम करने दो, इतना टाइम तो खराब कर दिया। अगर आपने दिल्ली पे राज करना है तो दिल्ली के लोगों का दिल जीतो ना, कि अगली बार आम आदमी पार्टी को वोट ही ना दें लोग। ऐसा काम करो, मतलब काम में टांग क्यों उड़ा रहे हो? जब तक हमारी सरकार है हमें काम करने दो, कल तुम जीत लेना, तुम काम कर लेना, टांग तो नहीं अड़ानी चाहिए।
का जो निर्णय है उसका हम सम्मान करते हैं, लेकिन जो मुख्यमंत्री का अभी मैंने सुना, उनकी बातों से एक बात समझ में आती है कि जिस चीज के लिए वो छटपटा रहे थे वो उनको मिल गया।
Now, essentially, the Supreme Court has gone back to the division of power in Delhi that existed before the BJP came to power in the centre. Which means, while the elected government will control bureaucrats, the Lieutenant Governor will continue to control the police and be responsible for law and order and land. Essentially, the LG has been right-sized and both he and the Chief Minister have the shared responsibility to run Delhi. Question is, can the two exist? In fact, can the two coexist given the heavy dose of politics that is involved in running Delhi? Let me ask that question to my guests who are joining me this evening. Harish Khurana is spokesperson of the BJP. Hakim Rizwan Illahi is a political analyst, will be speaking on behalf of the Aam Aadmi and Omesh Saigal is a former Chief Secretary of Delhi. He is with us on the broadcast. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Harish Khurana ji, you're smiling today, but you know the Supreme Court has given you absolutely no reason to smile.
See, we respect the decision what has the Supreme Court has given today. The reason of my smile is that now at least Arvind Kejriwal will not take the plea that central government is not letting him the work to do. Now he don't have any plea now. Now I think he will start doing the work which he's saying हमें काम नहीं करने दिया जा रहा. But end of the day today he said two important things. One, we have done so much work. If BJP is not letting them, LG is not letting them the work to do, you are claiming that you have done a Shiksha Kranti, you have done a education Kranti, you have done a health Kranti. Then if work is not being done, how can this can be happen? Number one. Point number two, the fear, one more fear is there. The fear is that the transport and transfer and this posting, this industry should not start. Ultimately, because we have seen the track record of Aam Aadmi Party that in every case, whether it's a school gate case, whether it's a liquor gate, whether it's a Sheesh Mahal, everything they want to do a corruption in that. Now, if they want, why they want to desperately they want this transfer and posting, because they want to do a corruption also in this and a transfer and a posting also.
Nick.
That's my fear. Also, one more
Mr.
thing,
Khurana.
a very, very important thing. I mean, you have to
Mr.
respect
Khurana,
the IAS officers.
Can I ask you one thing?
Let me complete. Let me 10 seconds more. Let me 10 seconds more.
Okay.
10 seconds more.
Okay.
10 seconds. Let me complete. Let me complete. Then you can ask him as many questions you can have. See, one more fear what we have. You have to respect IAS officers. You should not repeat what Anshu Prakash, the chief secretary at that time, the incident has happened. We have seen Tanushri incident has happened when you lock his office. I mean, you have to respect those people also. On one hand, they're saying they're letting know the work to do, and on the other hand, you disrespect those people and do manhandling those kind of people. You have to take care of those things also. Now you can, I mean,
अच्छा, हरीश खुराना जी, आप सुनिए, आपने बात बोल ली. Now tell me, you know, political posturing is one thing. Political posturing is one thing, Omesh Saigal ji. Realities of running a government is another thing. The Aam Aadmi Party is a democratically elected government in Delhi. And for a democratically elected government to not have the power over Babus is simply insane. Look at what the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying, Omesh Saigal ji. They have been saying that bureaucrats are not listening to us. They don't show up for meetings. They don't even take calls from ministers. They don't want to work. The LG is holding meetings with them. So what the Supreme Court today has done is essentially right size. I won't say cut down, but right size the powers of the LG. How do you think this will impact the working of the Delhi government, and how do you think it will impact the lives of all of our citizens?
Well, nothing will improve unless the coordination between the Lieutenant Governor and the elected government improves, unless they start understanding each other. Let us see the latest ruling of the Supreme Court. DDA continues to be with the LG. DDA is a critical body for the development of Delhi. The MCD will continue as it is, as per the Act. The land department will continue as it is. The Chief Secretary has a dual role. He is the Secretary to the Cabinet. He is also in charge of the police and home. So, similarly, the Home Secretary has a dual role. There are other officers who have a dual role. So, I think unless there is total understanding between these two top functionaries, as we have been seeing for so many years in the past, unless there is total understanding, and we understand that I am powerful, but my powers have limits. The LG also should understand that, okay, I am the administrator of Delhi, but within parameters laid down by the Supreme Court or laid down by the Constitution or laid down by the law. If they both understand, and you have a meeting every week, they used to have, maybe now have continued to have, in that meeting they sort out. Instead of washing dirty linen in the public, they sort it out in that meeting rather than make press statements and issue sort of advertisements, etc. So the best thing is If Delhi has to prosper, this judgment will not make any difference whatsoever unless there is a difference in the mental this thing. Please remember one more thing, that the UPSC is a constitutional body and it will continue. There can be no state public service commission. I'm not 100% sure, I'm not a constitutional authority, but I don't think the Delhi Assembly will be able to legislate a state public service commission. So the UPSC will continue. UPSC is a central body. The president has appointed the members of the UPSC. So the appointments will be made by the president, all appointments. Mind you, all appointments are with the UPSC. Take the Central Vigilance Commission. Again, it is a central body functioning under the law like the CBI. Again, that is a central body. And it has control over all central services. And Delhi services continue to be central services. Again, the Supreme Court ruling has to be read in detail. So I think the central government and the Delhi elected government, whether it is the same party or it is a different party, must understand that your role is complementary. It is supplementary. You supplement each other. Please don't be in a mood where you are opposing each other, because then no results will be achieved. So I think I positively appeal to all the people to now not get too excited about the Supreme Court ruling, but please do things in a conciliatory manner. And definitely the LG has to come down from his high pedestal, and definitely the Chief Minister has to come down to
he does have to
a
calm
level
down.
where they can talk and take proper decisions.
Both the LG and the Chief Minister have to come down to a level, you're saying, Mr. Saigal, where they speak to each other. In fact, today, the Chief Minister, right after the ruling, has gone to, to meet the LG and to speak to him. We do not know what has come of it. But Hakim Rizwan Illahi, the point is that, Delhi is the face of this country. Delhi is the capital of this country. And to run Delhi is a nightmare for any elected government, given the sort of interference that the LG has constantly been making as in the last 8 years or so. But many people will say that Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party have not helped matters either. That they have also constantly been on a collision path with the Lieutenant Governor. At one point of time, they even wanted the Delhi police to come under them.
We need to respect the basic principles of democracy, and the principle of democracy, forms the basic federal structure, and we need to respect that. And we need to respect the aspirations of the people. It's the people, and we need to respect the mandate of the people. And it's only when you have that power, the democratic power, then only you can perform your duties well. Now the question here is that so far there has been a lot of interference of governor and the center towards the Delhi government, but still Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal ji has managed to do good things, for the people of Delhi. And now when this power has been given to them, which is a democratic power, it's nothing, which is unconstitutional or apart from that, or, out of the basic democracy, the principle of democracy.
Okay.
So now things will be much more better. But the point here is, if the constitution and if the the power of legislature is not cherished in a way it should be, or not given a space to it, then things won't be right. So Delhi government has basically done what it was supposed to do, but the duties of the LG and the center, they have not performed it pretty well so far.
Okay. Arish Khurana ji, आप मुझे एक बात बताइए. Just tell me one thing. Here's the question that one needs to ask the BJP and the LGs it appoints. By the looks of it, over the last 7 to 8 years, the Aam Aadmi Party has alleged that the LGs you have appointed are, of course, political appointees, and they have been placed there in the national capital simply to harass the Aam Aadmi Party and not let them work. Now tell me, Harish Khurana ji, we know that, you know, the BJP has been in power in Delhi as well. And I know this jhagda between the LG and the Chief Minister has been going on since Madan Lal Khurana ji's date. In fact, the BJP used to be the one that used to say and propagate that the Chief Minister needs to have greater powers. After all, the Chief Minister is elected and the LG is not elected. After all, the Chief Minister is answerable and accountable to the people of Delhi, and the LG is not answerable or accountable to the people of Delhi. Now tell me something, what auchitya or tuk was it for the BJP to take away these powers of appointing babus and transferring them from the hands of the elected government of Delhi? आप बताइए मुझको, अगर आपके मिनिस्टर होते हैं, आप जो आपके बाबूज हैं, जो आपके IAS ऑफिसर्स आपके अंडर काम करते हैं, they don't take your call, they refuse to attend your meetings, they refuse to do any work, they have meetings with the LG. How is one expected to run a government?
Shreya, the problem is with Arvind Kejriwal is that he takes everything to his ego. We have seen, you have just talked about Mr. Madan Lal Khurana. We have seen that confrontation and difference of opinion was there between Lieutenant Governor and the Chief Minister of Delhi. But have you seen ever exchange of words like what we are seeing right now? Have you ever seen that? Same case happened with Shreya Dikshit ji. Shreya Dikshit ji, when ruled for Delhi in 15 years, 6 years government was Atal Bihari Vajpayee that time. Have you ever seen this kind of constitutional breakdown? I'll use this word as a constitutional breakdown. Has happened any time? No. Work has been done before also. Proudly we can say BJP has brought a metro in Delhi. And same with Shreya Dikshit ji, that she brought a series of flyovers in Delhi, lots of flyovers in Delhi, so that transport problem has been to an extent solved in Delhi. But have you seen any confrontation? No. Problem is Arvind Kejriwal is take everything with the ego only. So that's a basic cause. And now I was listening to Omesh Saigal ji. He's rightly said nothing will not change. Let me complete, boss. ये बीच में मत बोला करो यार. Omesh Saigal ji rightly said one thing. The UPSC has a still right to appoint. I'm sorry. UPSC has a authority to appoint IAS officer in Delhi. What will change? Just a transfer and the postings. And problem is, if you insult any officer, just like Anshu Prakash and Tanushri, who IAS will work under him? I think nobody. The problem is Arvind Kejriwal also is that na khata na bhai.
No, he himself is an IRS officer.
He has to tell whether it's constitutional.
Harish Khurana ji.
No,
Harish Khurana ji, he himself is an ex-IRS officer. Why will he or anyone in his government misbehave with government officials and with babus?
That's the irony, man. That's the irony. He knows what the rule says, and still he breaks the law.
We should go back to the principles of democracy. We should go back to read the Constitution of India and the Supreme Court that who have given the verdict today.
Mr. Illahi.
Please, ma'am, I can't debate like this.
Mr. Illahi, ठीक है, okay. एक minute. Mr. Illahi, okay, I'll let him complete. You're saying, and the Aam Aadmi Party also has said that this is a slap on the face of the BJP. But the fact is that, Mr. Khurana, this is a kuch badle na badle. Mr. Saigal is being very pessimistic and saying kuch nahi badalne wala hai. Inke jhagde roz phir bhi chalenge. But the fact is that Delhi is the national capital of this country. Delhi is the national capital of this country, and every day you have a dangal going on between the LG and the Chief Minister. It seems that दोनों के पास और कुछ काम ही नहीं है लड़ाई करने के सिवा.
Ma'am, let me answer this.
एक मिनट, नहीं Mr. Illahi. Let Mr. No, Mr. Illahi. First, let Mr. Khurana complete.
Okay.
Shreya, till Arvind Kejriwal changes attitude कि मैं जो कह रहा हूँ वो सही है, whether it's constitutional, unconstitutional, this will happen again. I'll tell you, this will happen again. Officer को आप पिटाई करोगे, no officer will work under him. Nobody wants to under him. That's the problem. They will get demotivated.
No, then the LG has to change his attitude also.
Arvind Kejriwal track record is...
Then the LG has to change his attitude also.
See,
then the LG has to change his attitude also.
We have to go
and not think of himself as the prima donna of the national capital.
See, constitutionally,
रोज उनके खिलाफ आप फाइल खुला देते हैं.
If you understand Delhi, can I, ma'am, can I? The problem is Delhi with this, we have to understand what the constitution says. whether you want or not, you have to go hand in glove with the Lieutenant Governor and the CM have to go together. That's the problem with Delhi, or you can say it's a constitutional way what the constitution
but
says.
the Lieutenant
We have to go hand in
Governor
gloves.
has to
Daily आपको काम पड़ेगा DDA से, daily
has
आपको
to
काम पड़ेगा
adhere to
पुलिस
the
से,
aid and
daily आपको
advice
काम
of the
पड़ेगा पुलिस
elected
से.
government.
You have to have day-to-day work with who is stopping
No,
it?
but the
Who is
Lieutenant
stopping it?
Governor
Then
has to
don't
work
claim
under
you
the
have done a lot of
aid
work in Delhi.
and advice
No,
of the elected government.
Shreya,
यहाँ both the
Shreya,
Lieutenant
पहले भी
Governor
होता
and the
था.
Chief Minister
Please understand,
behave like
please
India and
understand.
Pakistan.
But still, administration is still under Lieutenant Governor. Under 239 AA, the administrator of Delhi is still Lieutenant Governor. We have to understand that also. That's the way we have to understand. Ego नहीं बनाना Arvind Kejriwal को. That's a problem.
He's an
ego
administrator.
आपको नहीं बनाना है.
Arvind Kejriwal
नहीं.
makes an ego issue.
No, what BJP wants is BJP doesn't respect the
Okay.
mandate of people. They don't
Yeah, he
respect
has a
the
problem.
democracy. They don't respect the principles of democracy. That is the problem. That is the problem with BJP. They don't respect
Okay.
that the voters have elected Aam Aadmi Party, and Aam Aadmi Party, the ruling government has higher stakes. You know, in the capital.
Tell me one thing.
So why
Tell me one thing.
If
Tell me one
somebody
thing.
has
I want to
aligned,
ask Shreya one question.
It is the
Shreya,
central.
I want to ask
it's
one
the
question.
center which has to
Shreya,
align
allow
with
me, I want to have one
the
question
government
on
of
this
Delhi,
gentleman.
not the other way around.
Can I ask one
You
question
have
from this
made
gentleman?
several interferences.
Can I ask one question from
Just
this
because you
gentleman?
don't respect the people of Delhi.
Okay.
You don't
Shreya,
respect the
Shreya.
principles of democracy. That is the
Shreya,
problem
okay.
with BJP.
I
And
can't-
today,
Okay.
Shreya,
by this
I want
story,
to ask this
it's
question,
clear
one
Okay,
question.
Mr.
that
Illahi.
BJP was standing on a wrong side
Abhi,
of the story.
Okay.
please.
Okay.
Please, can I
One
now?
question.
Can I 10 seconds, ma'am? 10 seconds. Just now, 10 seconds. Just now, he said that we have to respect what the democracy says. Delhi has elected 7 members of parliament of BJP. How many times you have called BJP MPs, have a meeting and have a discussion on development
Sir,
of Delhi?
you have been trying
Arvind
to
Kejriwal, how many times you have called? Tell me.
government of Delhi.
I'm
You
sorry.
have
I'm
elected
sorry.
so many people,
If
so
Delhi
many
government has
legislators.
been appointed people of
In
Delhi,
order to satisfy your
then
ego.
member of parliament is
In
also
order to
elected by
satisfy
people of
your,
Delhi only.
you know,
We have to respect
You
that
know,
also.
point is...
No, you
Okay,
can't do one
okay,
way.
gentlemen.
This is what you
Okay,
stand
gentlemen,
for.
time
You
out.
have never worked for the betterment of the people of Delhi.
Time out. Time out.
That's why you
time
lost
out.
MCD
Time out.
election
Here's the point.
after
You know,
15 years.
Delhi. Okay. Point is that Delhi has an elected chief minister. He's a politician, and in this equation, we can only afford to have one politician. If the LG starts behaving like a politician as well, and an appointee of the BJP and not the government of India, that is where the problem erupts, and that is where the problem has been for the last more than couple of years. Things were always bad between the LG and the Aam Aadmi Party government, gone particularly down south after the appointment of the current Lieutenant Governor. We'll leave it there for the moment, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I think we'll just be a little pessimistic on the story, as Mr. Omesh Saigal is telling us. Kuch nahi badalne wala Delhi mein. Ladai chalti rahegi. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Good night. With that, it's a wrap from me. It's over to my colleague, Afrida, who is joining you in just a bit with all the day's top